Hello to all my friends out there. Hi you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. Okay, this video is extreme markdown food shopping. So that was what I was doing today. And I wasn't going to make these. These are flatbreads. These are so much better than the bread I made last night. The bread I made with the biscuit mix was okay, but this is cheaper for one thing. Yikes, what's going on with this thing? Okay, because you don't have to use very much oil. So let me get these going so it doesn't, so the dough is stiffer. So I'm gonna fry them up. And then I'm going to eat them with some hummus that I bought marked down drastically. I went shopping at Grocery Outlet. So if you have a stockpile of food, then you can just buy marked down food. And that's how you can buy food if you're willing to eat anything. Sometimes you can get some really good food by being willing to eat anything. So here we go. See how nice and substantial this is? So instead of using a lot of oil, you can just put a little oil, about maybe a teaspoon or so. The babies are saying hi. So we don't need a lot of oil, we'll just have a little bit of oil. Okay, here is the hummus I bought for $1.49, marked down. This afternoon, I wasn't thinking about making flatbreads. I was just eating the hummus on crackers, and what happened was, when I was in my recipes looking for my oatmeal cookies back there, I found the flatbread recipe from years ago. And what happened was, I was out in my garage. Okay, I think it's ready to go. I was out in my garage and I saw a garbage bag, and it was in the garbage bag. This is like why pack rats don't want to change. You go, look at that. I could have thrown that in the trash. Oh my God. There's tons of recipes in there. All the recipes I've given you guys for the last 12 years. That is a lot of recipes, you guys. Every night, 2, 3, sometimes a lot more. So I had my flatbreads sitting in the bowl about 20 minutes. And these are tasty and very, very easy to make with all. Do you remember when during the pandemic, I said the first pandemic because I think more is coming. There was no yeast. You don't need yeast for this kind. Some of them do use yeast, but not this recipe. So, one more. And this stuff won't break apart like it's best to use your biscuit mix for biscuits. They taste much better because it's not the flatbread recipe, Rhoda. I would use the flatbread recipe with biscuit mix if that's all I had. That was the whole idea about that. Stockpile biscuit mix or pancake mix, and then if you don't have any flour, sometimes you can actually get it cheaper. Get the cheapest stuff you can get, and then I put it down here. I got biscuit mix, I got coffee creamer, and something else. I forgot what. But when I could get it cheap, I got it cheap. A little bit longer. Okay, this looks good. All right. So we have 4 of them. And it took very little food to make it, which was the whole idea. Okay, life is good. Okay, so now what did I buy drastically marked down? I'm going to continue. Sometimes I get, you know, you can get the drastically reduced food at the last places you would expect. Albertsons, Ralph's, Vons, Walmart. They're all vying for our business right about now. Okay, I bought, this is the crackers I bought for 99 cents. And I saw this guy doing a car video, and he had crackers and he had vegan meat. A lot, ooh, it's turning out good, ouch. A lot of people who live in cars are vegetarians because it was some kind of vegetarian, I think pork. So I thought, yeah, because these are like bread. And then the other crackers I bought were these because, and these were 99 cents because I usually buy, I like to keep 6 boxes of crackers. And so these are pretty big boxes. I think this one's a pound. A pound is all, yeah, this is a whole pound. So this is as much crackers as a loaf of bread. And this has like 4 of these packets. So there's quite a few crackers. Both of those were 97 cents. Then I bought 2 of these packets of olives, and those will taste good with my fry bread. Time to eat one. And those were 99 cents each. So that's cheap for us. Very cheap for olives. Then I bought 2 cans. Okay, I bought these last week when they were $1, and this week they were 2 for $1. These are sweet potato pancake mix. So those will be tasty. So 2 for $1. That's a lot of pancake mix. All right, here's the flatbread, number 1. Now the pan's really hot. Just so I'm using a lot less oil and less cleanup. Okay, so 2 cans of sweet potato. Now this is a good thing if you're into any kind of bodybuilding. And then I bought 1 package of macaroni because macaroni is good almost indefinitely. So what I wanted was, I wanted pasta. Oh, this one's turning out much better. Look, see, I'm getting the bubbles on the top. So for all you experienced flatbread makers going, oh, what do you know? Okay, I bought, oh, this was a fabulous deal. I have never tried this stuff before. I got this green machine. It's no sugar added. What's in this stuff? It tastes pretty good. Apple juice, water, mango, banana. Anyway, it was 97 cents. So I thought, if I like it, I'll like it. If I hate it, I'll drink it anyway. But it was good. I drank it on the way home from the gym, quite a bit for me. I would assume that these tell you how much is a serving size. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was about 6 or 7. And then I got the hummus. All right. And these will taste good with my my hummus. So that was the whole idea behind that. All right. Oh, and why I went was I was going to try to get another package of this cheese for $2.49, and I did, but this was the last one because I've been eating this stuff non-stop for a week, and I still have a lot left because there was 16 pieces. Mixed macaroni, package of cheese, 2 packages of olives, the naked juice, the hummus. I guess that's all I got. So I got that for $11.10. I saved $34.20. So this little bit of food was $45.30 worth of food, which kind of makes sense when you think about the green machine. These were expensive, but you know, if you get them, and then this sweet potato pancake mix, and the hummus was only $1.49, so that was pretty cheap. Okay, so let me open I love olives. So to go with these, this is one of my small meals. I usually eat one big meal. So today I was eating a pretty big meal at noon. Oh, these look good. These are the kind of olives I love too. I also have some really good black olives, but I forgot about them. So, these are good. All right. So this is all you have, just like the flatbreads. I made half a batch, so if you make a whole batch, it's going to make 8. 1½ cups flour, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1½ tablespoons oil, and 1/2 cup of water. And I heated the water, and then it was a real stiff dough, so be prepared for that. And then I rolled it in the I kneaded it, you know, so I could roll it into the balls, and I left them there, I don't know, around 20 minutes or so, under the right conditions. Okay, so this is all you need. Any kind of oil, I'm sure, is fine. Shortening, lard, whatever you have. It's not so super important because you're just using a little bit. You could use cooking spray. So I had this recipe for a long time, and what I went to find when I found it, and I'm glad I did since I have the hummus, was my oatmeal cookie recipe, which I think is one of the best out there. They may not look the best out there, but believe me, they taste really good. And I already ate quite a few of them with tea. And it's a real simple recipe. I want to mention something about sweet spices. You know how you used to be able to easily find them? When all is well, they puff up. Okay, you need 3/4 cup margarine or butter softened, a 3/4 cup sugar, 1 beaten egg, 1 tablespoon vanilla extract, 2 cups all-purpose flour, and then 3/4 cup cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon cloves, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, 1/4 ground nutmeg, 3/4 cups milk, so I use my coffee creamer, 1 3/4 cups Bond quick oats, 3/4 cups raisin, and 3/4 cups nuts. Okay, so what happened is I am trying to use my half-eaten packages up now. And then, you know, I have quite a bit of food in the food storage. so you can take a screenshot. And so I had bought coffee cream. So look, no mess, like no leftover oil, no making too much oil. Okay, so this is going to be a good little meal for me. Right, you can eat these with eggs, but I wanted to eat them with pork sausage. So I had, thank heavens I had links, because, you know, I bought my pound Markdown and I left it in there and it had gone bad. But when I see these kind on sale, I pick them up. So I had them in the, oh, this reminds me, I want to give you this recipe. I have a cheap soda pop that I got at Ralph's. This chicken, this was from the $5 chickens, and I got a really good chicken noodle recipe I want to give you guys. And then, you know, I have some olives. I could have made some boiled eggs. I could eat this with some cheese as well, but I think this will do it. So, when you find good deals on olives, you might as well. And these have a long expiration date, January 2025. And this is, I think I bought soda pop from Ralph's for $1.25, 4 for $5. Okay, so let's see. Okay, this is a cheap meal, but I'm not going to be suffering. And I'm going to have flatbreads for tomorrow, too, to go with my hummus. So now that I found my flatbread recipe again, I'm going to be getting the hummus a lot more when I find it on sale. I'll just do a half at a time. This is a really good flavor. This one is Southwest. I assume you could eat this on Mexican food, but you can also put cooked meat on these, like taco meat. That was good. Flatbreads are expensive, but not when you make them. And you're going to get better at making them when you start making them all the time. You can make hamburgers with this too, or, I mean, Mid-Easterns don't eat pork. Okay. So it's cooler. So for lunch, I had half a can of chicken and rice soup. Remember, and I mixed the whole can up, and I just put what I had left back in there, and I will eat that tomorrow. This is, I have two kinds of, this is the coffee creamer I made with the coffee creamer mix that I bought for $1.49. I bought 2 more of these. But this is the other coffee creamer that I had. And what I did is I froze, you know, pretty big pieces. And then I'll just drink it down like milk. So I had crackers that I bought for 99 cents. I had homemade peanut butter, and then I had Dollar Tree jam. I had a grape jam that I bought at Dollar Tree a long time ago, and I had my homemade peanut butter, and that tasted so good. That's something to keep in your stockpile. Because if you have jam, then you're not going to run out of fruit. peanut butter and jam, hummus, and then I had a lot of tea. So, with coffee creamer. Okay, then this week I got out. So now, if I wanted to, I could have had these sardines in tomato sauce with rice and hummus and flatbreads. That would have been good. So I took out 1 can of beef stew, and I can eat that with the mashed potatoes that I bought. You know, the box, that was the other thing. It was coffee creamer, pancake mix, and a box of mashed potatoes. Then I bought chili that can go with the crackers. This is like if you get caught in some area. I hope everyone's okay if you're in the wake of Hurricane Helene or whatever it is. Chicken and a la king. But this I usually eat on toast. But the thing about these that are good is you could just eat them out of the can if you had to. Also, there's been some really bad floods all over the world. What I think it is climate change. You know, they said a few years ago, this is the beginning of a mini ice age. So, of course, you know, if there was a lot of snow, it would flood. But there was a dam that burst caused by Hurricane Helene. All right. Something sad happened today. Chris Christopherson died. And he was 88 years old. I thought he was closer to my age. Well, I'm 70. So that was a sad thing. And one of the sad things about some of his famous songs is Me and Bobby McGee was made, one of the famous renditions was Janis Joplin, and she actually died before it hit its big hits. You know, it was a big hit. She died previous to that. I think this is interesting. She had gotten sober. She went to her class reunion and it rubbed her wrong so bad she started using drugs because she got back there and she was still treated like really bad. Even being one of the most famous stars in the entire world. And they said Chris Christopherson was really a humble guy. So, okay, so I had also biscuit mix. So I bought quite a bit of biscuit mix and quite a bit of pancake mix. I like to eat, and then I had hot dogs and bologna, but I like to eat rice, milk, and sugar, or bread, milk, and sugar with hot dogs and ketchup. Don't ask me why, I just like to eat that. So that was sad about Chris Christopherson. Okay, have you heard about this? Huminerals, like minerals, but huminerals comes from China, and people are going, we're like human resources. We're nothing to this China Republic. And so, you know, there's been the Chinese, the small businesses are having a terrible time. And I mentioned to you that here, the cost of doing business is so high that a lot of people doing business are just doing business to pay the overhead. Now, this is worth thinking about. There have been reports that giants are starting to reappear. So, okay, the controversy on the giant thing is they're saying that the origins of some of these giants cannot be verified. But if, you know, you get the DNA of a giant, like on a cup or something, you can get their DNA, just like Ancestors.com. You want their DNA? And the giants are not giving it up. Okay, before the floods, I think the giants were kind of like dinosaurs. Okay, the dinosaurs went extinct because there wasn't enough food for them. So the giants ate a lot. They had the people producing the food. The people couldn't produce enough food. So the giants were eating the people. And then we have verification of the existence of giants with David and Goliath. So back in the day, the giants were huge. Okay, okay, Moses, when Moses was going into the land, I think it was of Canaan, giants were spotted by the 12 spies, and they said that they were the size of grasshoppers compared to these giants. So there's verification of the giants. Also, it says, I think it is Matthew 24:37 through 51, for as in the day that were before the floods, that will be exactly what happens before the second coming. So the return, a lot of the information on giants came from the book of Enoch, which a lot of Christians go is not a valid book of the Bible. And it says that there was destruction by fire or water. Okay, about 5 years ago, I was at the mall and I saw this giant man. I mean giant, not more big than 7 feet. And he was sitting in a little chair and it looked like a kindergarten chair. And that's the first time I noticed them, because I had been watching Super Soldier Talk and there were mentions of these gigantic people. Okay, so I have spotted one. I also spotted some other strange stuff. But okay, so there's no verifications where some of these giants came from. Okay, so lately I have been noticing these gigantic people, but people are migrating from all over the world. But a modern day giant is over 7 feet tall. There's people over 7 feet tall. One of my brothers is 6'4", so it's not that much taller than a very large person. But when you see one of these people, and I'm seeing them now and then, what that means, I don't know. Okay, so then the other thing that was destroyed, I want to mention, is the Tower of Babel. It was a tall structure, and basically I think it was to reach the stars, to reach heaven, and to, you know, do astrology. So now the study of the stars and the pyramids were like the Tower of Babel, and they're supposed to be inhabited by angels. And so we had the Tower of Babel destroyed by the floods, and then we're discovering all over the world pyramids. But one could think of another new structure, the AI, as a possible modern Tower of Babel. Or we could think of these giants as people over 7 feet tall. So one of the mentions about the giants, the modern day giants, which I really love, you go, and they eat a lot. Well, yeah, it makes sense. They're huge. Okay, I had a dream, nothing to do with giants. I had this just before I woke up today, and it was a strange dream, and it was like an underground room, and it was dark. Like, because it was dark, it wasn't going to be picked up by any kind of, I got the impression that it was hidden, but in the middle of it was Christ. It was, I've heard people, I have, seen him before in dreams and stuff, but he was in the midst of this room, and I'm thinking, good Lord, I wonder if there's like any humans in there. because it was very, very dark and it was like hidden. So in the dark places, the Lord is there. So always keep that in mind. And in the tall places, I told you about the dream of the man on the top of a high hill, and a tsunami was coming. And the people were oblivious. And he said to the Lord, what about the people? And the Lord said, perhaps I will save some of them. And then shortly later, I had the dream of a man running frantically with the tsunami coming, and the Lord was not there. So I wanted to mention that. Yeah, it's nuts, but hey, take what you like and leave the rest. Okay, now we're buying food, we're storing food, and the main thing we want to prepare for is famine. All through time, famines have happened, and some not that long ago. So think about water events, large amounts of rain, intense heat, drought, deadly hail, and storms. Wars, those are not good for crop growing. And now I want to mention, I see something, and it's future telling and psychics. And I watch it myself, I love it. But, okay, the ones that are really kind of fascinating is God told me. Okay, it's possible that God told him. It's possible maybe it was a spirit. So another thing are people who have spirit guides. Okay, people are becoming aware of the fact that there are spirits, but the thing about the spirits is they like humans a lot. And then now a lot of people are saying the multiple personality disorder are spirits. So the spirits like the people. They're not all the time, they're only sometimes. But anyway, so this future telling, now in the Bible, and even like when I was a kid, future telling, Ouija boards, witchcraft, all this stuff was to be shunned. But we're seeing more and more of it, so this could kind of indicate some of this other stuff we're talking about. Like, why do people study the stars? Well, they study the astrology to give them insight into things. So there is a certain amount of possible fear. So if we stockpile food, we're going to be better prepared to confront some of the stuff. We don't have to rely on, fortune telling. Okay, now, I had my palms read once, and she looks at my one hand and then the other hand, and she looks at the other hand, and she goes, "You will work." I go, that is not a fortune. That is a life sentence. Well, guess what? No truer thing ever said. I go, what about the tall, dark, handsome stranger? She goes, no. What about travel? I go through all this stuff. She goes, no. Oh, I go, I should not have paid her for that. Okay, so now I want to mention the meats that were really cheap were hot dogs, so I make fry breads, bologna with fried bologna sandwich with egg, and tuna on toast. And then I bought pasta and olives because you can make a lot of macaroni and cheese. I think I'm going to start stockpiling boxes of Velveeta cheese and then biscuits. So you're always going to have breakfast sandwiches. That's the idea with that. Okay. Okay. Now this is something I want to mention. There's been mention after Hurricane Helene hits that a bigger storm is coming. So I'd be braced for that. So think about oatmeal. So you have a lot of coffee creamer. You're going to have oatmeal and milk. You're going to have a little dairy in your coffee. You're going to have gravy. And you're going to be able to make macaroni and cheese. So what I do is so now I have enough coffee creamers. I have enough milk, or it's not milk, but I do have powdered milk. But with the coffee creamer, I have enough milk for at least 2 years. And so mainly I want to use that in cooking. And then, you know, with the oatmeal cookies and the granola, and these oatmeal cookies are really good. This is the way I used to make them. Sometimes I used to make them without sugar. So now think about prolonged hardships and discomfort. That we're going to be helpless, and it's going to be cyclic. It's just going to come in cycles. And then these are likened to birth pains, and so we're just going to have to endure this. We might be having some grid downs. So the solution that I did yesterday, it's valid. Live in a way of constant preparation. So that is it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all. Bye, you guys.